Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. Grab a seat. We are back on the roundtable with our AEW Full Gear 2020 pay-per-view roundtable review. This one should be an off-the-rails, hilarious review for sure. I am back once again with the roundtable rebel himself, the three-time baby making champion. This is Ness.
True Heels, what's the deal, guys? Glad to be here with a round table full of stellar individuals recapping Full Gear, which was a great show.
Yes, it was, and he is here for his first ever AEW roundtable. You've seen him on a couple of the WWE roundtables. He is the co-host of True Heel Heat, our resident True Heel alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ.
These motherfuckers got me way off schedule doing this shit wee hours of the early morning, and I'm getting drinks early to get this started. Wee
Definitely
freaking hours.
PM.
This is wee hours on a Sunday. This is a Sunday. Yo, listen, man. On the day that we're doing this, man, shit. Ness, really? That title? We all know you're the baby making champion. Like,
I gotta
you have to carry that shit on every single round.
I don't do it. No, I didn't do it for New Japan because I'm not gonna disrespect that beautiful, beautiful company with this dumb shit.
But you're gonna disrespect AEW with it?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Pretty much.
Yes, I am.
With the Super Kick Party hat, with the All Elite shirt, with that shit spinning title.
Okay. Can I finish my intros here? Finally, we have the host of All Elite Recap. These are two talented brothers with their own YouTube channels. First, he needs a plug because his battery is dying. The one, the only, Marcus Cash.
What's up?
And finally, the man with, I think it's 38,000 subscribers on YouTube, the standard bearer when it comes to True Heel Heat contributors on YouTube. He is the one, the only, Jimmy Macram.
Gentlemen, and a lady of some kind, I imagine, watching somewhere.
Yeah.
There gotta be at least one.
She's taking care of the kids right now, looking at a clock on me. But yes, I have a bunch of good brothers with us to talk about AEW's final pay-per-view of 2020. Show your support for this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. Of course, the comment section below is for you guys to let us know what your thoughts was on AEW Full Gear 2020. The iCard down at the bottom to push that to subscribe, and the bell below that. Click all notifications for all the great content right here on True Heel Heat. Before we get into this stellar card, this stacked card for AEW, one of the most stacked cards in the promotion's history, I just need one word, one sentence, your thoughts overall on AEW Full Gear. Let's start with you, Jimmy.
Really good, one match too long.
Nice teaser. That's gonna get the people to find out. Find out which match you're talking about. Marcus Cash.
Redemption from that last pay-per-view.
That's a good one for sure. Ness.
Fantastic.
I like that. Top Guy JJ.
Satisfying.
I like all of those. I will go with one of the best pay-per-views. I think my gimmick on here and on Wrestling Daily is that I watch a whole lot of wrestling. I mean, my kids wake me up at 5 a.m. in the morning, so that gives me plenty of time to watch a whole bunch of wrestling. But it was very much one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in 2020, which says a lot. So we will get into things. I will ask around. Did any of you guys catch the buy-in match on this card?
Yeah, I did.
Nope.
I had to ask because I knew I would get a nope in there, but it was Serena Deeb defending the NWA Women's Championship against Allison Kay. Serena Deeb, one of the newest signees of AEW, while Allison Kay is a newly fresh free agent since she just got her release from NWA. This was a very solid affair in this one, about 10 minutes long. Serena Deeb getting the victory with the Serenity Lock, which is like the old school Tequila Sunrise by Conan. Very solid work here. I gave this match 3 stars. Ness, what about you?
I gave this match 3 stars as well. And the thing about it is the NWA Women's Championship has had a better run on AEW programming than the AEW Women's title. Like, and that's the craziest thing to me. Their matches have been better. They promote them, I think, a little bit better. And it just seems like, and this match was great. As far as, like, I think this was better of the women's match on the card, even though it was on the buy-in. But I still would take this match over. We'll get into that later. But this was a very good match. I'm not really too familiar with Serena Deeb, but she definitely showed up. Allison Kay, she's a great in-ring performer. Both these ladies went out there and they definitely showed what they can do, and it was a great match.
My overall thoughts for this one was, please sign Allison Kay. She is different from everyone else they have on the AEW roster, just a different look. She's tall. She's got the exotic, the white and black hair, so it's something different. And then after this match, after Serena Deeb got the victory, Thunder Rosa came out and seemed to challenge Serena Deeb for a future NWA Women's World Championship. Going by what Ness says, yes, they pay more attention to NWA's women's division than their very own, which we'll get to shortly. So,
that's the part I like the best is that they brought Thunder Rosa back out, squashed those WWE rumors. But that was really the highlight. The match itself was serviceable, I would say. I don't think the Tequila Sunrise is an actual finisher then or now, but she doesn't seem to put that much torque on it either. I'd like to see a little more torque in her Tequila Sunrise.
You mean torque, not torque?
Like,
you said torque.
No, I said torque. Torque, I want to say.
It sounded like twerk.
No, well, I've got a bit of a.
Yeah, there's an accent there, man. He has an accent. Cut him some slack. He did say it. He said the right word. He didn't say twerk.
But I like to see her just wrench back a little more.
God, who cares?
It's not believable.
It's not believable.
It takes away.
It's wrestling. It's not real.
It takes away.
Hey. Hashtag analysis.
Clearly.
He's an expert analysis when it comes to AEW for sure. So you would think that, after that solid matchup on the buy-in, they would start out slow. Maybe we'll get the Elite Deletion, start off cinematic like they did at All Out, or maybe even Orange Cassidy versus Alex Silver. Nope. They went out and gave us one of the most anticipated matches of the night right from the top for the finals of the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. It was finally, after a whole year of build-up, Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page. Before the match, joined on commentary was one of the EVPs of Impact Wrestling, Mr. Don Callis. I said this on the Twitter machine, and I will say it to you fellas. Don Callis is to Kenny Omega what JR was to Stone Cold, what Bobby Heenan was to Ric Flair. They just have that. There's a certain fandom when Don Callis is on commentary and talking about Kenny Omega. They talked about that history with him knowing Omega since he was 10 years old, being trained by Omega's uncle. So that was a cool little note. And already on the night, like before the opening match of the main card, we've seen NWA and Impact Wrestling represented. So that tells you a lot about AEW and their basically cross-pollination with other promotions in professional wrestling. But this one was 2 big stars going at it. Omega with his new entrance. I think this was probably the most outrageous and over the top of all the entrances. Noting that he has 8 years experience on Hangman Page and that he is not representing, but he's been in North Carolina. I just love the cleaner entrance. I don't know about you guys, but This one was high octane, all action. Some of the great spots, I think, on the outside early. Hangman was throwing Omega into the guardrail. Then Omega, out of nowhere, just hops over the guardrail onto one of the stanchions in the crowd and does a moonsault onto Hangman Page. We had a pop-up power bomb on the ramp, which looked vicious, and I was like, ouch. We had dragon suplexes being no-sold. We had a series of strikes. This was a very New Japan, like, all-action sprint. And then in the end, after 17 minutes, it was Kenny Omega reversing the buckshot lariat into the V-trigger, into another V-trigger, and then hitting the one-wing angel to get the victory and become the number one contender for the AEW World title. I gave this match 4.5 stars. That is how you kick off a pay-per-view, period. We'll go to you, Jimmy Macram.
I gave it 4 stars. I liked the match. Omega should win. I'm disappointed Hangman didn't, but Omega is the right guy, especially for Moxley, I would imagine. Can I give Paul Turner some credit?
Yeah.
Paul Turner some credit? It's amazing what you do, book referees like idiots. I'm just saying. Unlike the Young Bucks, Omega and Hangman didn't mind. Let them do their thing. And I thought this was the best the announce team was all night, unfortunately. I think it was past Jar's bedtime after this match because it slowly went downhill. But this match, all 4 of them were on point. I like this match a lot.
Yes, I would say JR added a lot to this one. Cash?
I gave it 4.25. Very solid match. The no selling of the dragon suplexes, or just the no selling of high impact signature moves in general, really takes me out of it for a bit, and I gotta get myself back into it. But it's the entrance is fantastic. The drunk somber Hangman that we're gonna get out of this is gonna be amazing. The right man did win, despite what we may want. So this was very solid, very serviceable. 4 and 4.25.
Top guy, JJ.
Yeah, I truly picked this match as a fan. I wanted Hangman to win. I wanted Hangman to win just because obviously he failed in his last attempt, and this just has been literally all about Kenny. Kenny has been fucking amazing, so it's hard to really overshadow it. So I would definitely agree. I would give this match 4.5 stars as well. Jesus Christ, this is how you start a fucking pay-per-view. God damn, this is how you start one. I was not expecting this to be the first match. When I had the chance to replay this, I was like, wow, they're opening it with this. This was incredible. It was a really good match. I do wish this match had about 5 more minutes. I do wish it had a little bit more time. It was a little short to me, so that's why I think it fell short of the extra half a star. But I think this match had the potential, and these two have the potential to definitely deliver 5-star classics in the future. I just wish that they had a little bit more time, and I wish that Hangman had the chance to at least get out of that one-winged angel at least once, because as soon as he got hooked, it was over. It was literally over. So that just kind of just my fan perspective, not what should have happened or what should have happened. I just wish that it just happened that way, but still a fantastic freaking match.
Well, I think he did reverse out of one of them, but I think that the real thing, and I agree with you, it could have done with 5 more minutes, but I think that was the point. It wanted to leave you wanting more.
Yeah,
and they left it.
Fucking annoying.
Well,
these two men are fucking amazing, yo. Why you always? Oh, this is what I'm saying. Always leaving us blue ball, Joe. Come on, man.
Well,
Give
that's
us
the
what
thing.
We want.
They were in the opening spot, and we know this is going to be a future main event for AEW, so they left enough room to go back to the rematch. So that's why I enjoyed it so much. Ness?
I love this match as well. I was, surprised that it opened the show, but they fucking delivered on as best as they could, Excuse me. I really liked the fact that, once the match was over, there wasn't any an official Hangman turn or official Kenny turn where they're beating each other up or anything stupid like that. You guys go out there, you have your match, and then you move on to whatever you guys got going on next. We don't need everything to be soiled with goofy storytelling. But the storytelling of this match, you guys were tag team partners and tag team champions for the better part of a year. They know each other so well, and it showed in the match itself. So that was definitely great storytelling. And I want to see if they, they come back to this. Definitely wouldn't mind seeing another match between them because it was amazing. I really loved it. It set the energy off for the rest of the night, in my opinion.
What you gave it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gave it 4.25.
Absolutely, we're kind of all pretty much in the same range, but I just love this. I love the post match as well with Kenny. I don't know if you guys noticed, Kenny did not look at Hangman after the match. He wants to move on past his former partner, while Hangman looked dejected and depressed, which would play out a little bit more later on in the card, which we'll get to. But that was a hell of a way to kick off the show. Next up, we got a little bit change of pace as it was John Silver going one-on-one with Orange Cassidy. This one was kind of between two very humorous characters. The one of the first parts of the match is John Silver ripping off the pockets of Orange Cassidy and eating them. That is why I love John Silver. John Silver has been one of those revelations in AEW of a guy that you didn't really expect much of, and he just gave you so much. But it wasn't just a comedy match in these one. These two are two really good workers, and John Silver is amazing with how much power he has for a guy that's pretty much probably me and Cash's height, and he's just full of muscle, and he just knows how to perform. I gave this match, Orange Cassidy got the win in the end with the orange punch, followed by the beach break for the 1-2-3, with the best friends coming down after the match and giving the people what they want. And I give this match 3.5 stars. This was a very nice follow-up to the opener. Top guy JJ.
I'm gonna give this match a solid 3. I give it a 3 stars. John Silver actually was pretty damn impressive to me in this match, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that much about John Silver, but watching him in this, he was pretty impressive. Very, very comedic in his in-ring work with what he did with Orange. And Orange, of course, listen, Orange is spot on in the ring. Orange is spot on in the ring, so it's kind of like expected from him. And they gave me a little bit more than I expected. I honestly wasn't even gonna watch this match. But then as watching it, I was like, oh, this match is actually pretty impressive. So I'll give it a 3 stars. I'll give it a solid 3.
Ness?
I actually gave this match 3 3/4. Just for the majority, the 3/4 came from the comedy spots. John Silver is hilarious. He's been one of the better parts of BTE and definitely getting to show more of himself. Even the commentary said, he's starting to show out more from the rest of the Dark Order. I think at this point, he needs to go from being number 4 to being number 3. Whoever number 3 is.
I think it's Alex Reynolds.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he should definitely be number 3 over Alex Reynolds. But, like you said, he's a powerful guy. Definitely with that one-handed gorilla press on Orange Cassidy, that shit was a thing of beauty. And then just like throughout the whole match, the ripping of the pockets off and eating them. And then, him just showing that personality as well as his ability to go in the ring for this match, and Orange Cassidy, he's a cult favorite. He can literally do no wrong at this point. So I really enjoyed the match, and 3 3/4 stars. It was really good.
Marcus Cash.
I was gonna say 3 1/4. Can I be blasphemous for a second?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think Orange Cassidy has plateaued, and we use the word revelation for John Silver because I knew nothing about John Silver before, and in the beginning of this Dark Order thing and the Beaver Boys when they joined, I could not care less. I want to see a lot more John Silver. In-ring goofiness, all of it, because he can go, he's hilarious. Orange Cassidy feels kind of like the same old, day in, day out kind of thing at this point.
Wow.
I think we can give something like that. Let's get that TV time on number 4. And I was pleased with this match. Hilarious. A lot more than I expected out of John Silver. Orange Cassidy, same solid stuff, but that's gonna be my feeling. I want to see a lot more for, and you got to give the people what they want, and that's a break.
I love that. Jimmy.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, follow that one.
Wow. I gave it 3 stars. I don't think Orange Cassidy has, did you say plateaued? Yeah, I just think he's found his level. We'll say.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is above the station. Yeah, like it just is what it is. This is closer to where he should be. I really like the match. Silver's the star of the match, only because we know Orange Cassidy is good. Silver was the star. The pants spot was my favorite spot of the night. Yes, it just is what it is. He doesn't skip arm day, but he does skip everything else. I mean, I've never seen him play before in my life. As much as I like him as Brody's like sidekick that he slaps around, he might have a singles run in him. I might want to see something of the sort. I don't know how high I want up the card, but I want to see something. I like the match a lot.
I think he's the guy that, you take all that equity that you've put in Brody, and you need, with these big groups, with the main heel guy, you need that baby face that's going to come out and turn baby face. He kind of seems like he's that guy. He's always been the one that Brody picks on, so it kind of makes sense, and he has that star potential. And this was another one, I will say, JR did an excellent job of building up John Silver, so got to give JR credit, because we won't after a while here.
You know what? A little bit props to him, too, because usually, he only knows his WWE guys. So he actually gave some investment to this match. Like, it's like, whoa, you actually seem to actually care about matches that doesn't have Jon Moxley in it. It's awesome.
Chris Jericho. Yeah, pretty much. Next up was one of the more anticipated matchups in this one for the TNT Championship. Darby Allin going up against the champion Cody Rhodes. Darby had a nice entrance, being driven in a beat-up Mazda with his skateboard on, smashed through the driver's. And then we have the juxtaposition of Cody coming out with his entire crew: QT Marshall, Dustin, his wife Brandy, Billy and Austin Gunn. I was gonna say Zach Morris because he kind of looked like Zach. But yes, we also had Mike Chioda as the referee. The big introduction of Cody as Cody Rhodes, and this one was a nice change of pace from the high action sprint that was the opener, and the comedy mixed with surprising skill in the ring of Silver versus Orange. This one was more of a storytelling type of match, with Cody focusing on the arm of Darby Allin, working a hammerlock. It was like, I saw a couple of people on Twitter like, what old school match did Cody watch that was featured about the hammerlock that made him want to make this match all about hammerlocks? Yes. We had the huge spot with Cody hitting the crossroad, avalanche crossroads off of the top rope, and it was kind of a nice little part of this, a nice little side story of this match, because before then after Darby got to the ropes on one of the hammerlocks, he started doing push-ups, and Arn just lit into his ass like, focus, but Cody wasn't focused when he hit the avalanche crossroads and didn't notice that Darby's arm was underneath the rope. We had a nice little callback to their last match where Darby lost because he hit the the coffin drop, and then Cody reversed that into a pin. He hit the coffin drop this time and turned around to get the pin, so that was a nice little callback there. And then the last two matches that Cody defeated Darby, it was on roll-ups and kind of fluke victories, and this one, the roll-up exchange went Darby's way, and they finally pulled the trigger on Darby Allin. I would say this is the match that exceeded my expectations the most. I gave this match 4 stars. This was a really strong storytelling based matchup. I think Cody did excellent work playing the subtle heel, and Darby Allin getting the victory just filled me with so much happiness, because it's finally a homegrown star of AEW winning a championship gold here. So I really enjoyed this match. Ness, how about you?
Yeah, I gave this match 4 solid stars as well. The whole story behind this match was Cody's like, all right, Darby Allin's here. He's not in my league. He doesn't measure up to me. He pretty much overlooked him. Just like you mentioned during the match where he's doing push-ups. You don't take your eye off the ball. You want to win this match, put this guy away and get the victory. And that's why Arn Anderson started lighting his ass up. But, also Darby Allin's just like, look, I had to fight, all my life, go through so many things and so many difficulties, so many obstacles, and you're just another obstacle that I'm going to overcome. And that's literally what happened. And it was a feel-good moment, just going into it. like I said, just with Cody, he's just looking over it, getting too cocky, getting too big for his britches, and Darby just fighting, scratching and clawing for the victory, and then that's how it ended up. And I'm glad that he won. Cody doesn't need any more accolades or any more spotlight that he already has. The big flashy entrances, him coming out with a whole fucking team of people for little ass Darby Allin, all this shit was just over the top. And it was just good to see Darby Allin, got out this win. And I definitely want to see where he goes as the TNT champion. And I just want to see more from him.
Top guy, JJ.
I'm going to give this match 3 3/4. And the reason why I'm going to give it the extra quarter is because I felt like Arn Anderson in this match. This match pissed me off. It like legit pissed me off. It literally, like, the whole match, Cody did not take him seriously at all. It's like literally after every big move, like Cody Rhodes has been in the business for how many fucking years now, and you don't know to pull the man away from the fucking ropes when you hit an avalanche crossroads and he fucking rolls over. He rolls like 32 feet into the fucking corner. It's like basic shit like this. Like, dude, focus. Like, are you serious? Like, yo, he is actually a good wrestler. He is actually really good. And you are still treating him like this is his first match in AEW. So I guess it probably made sense and delivered on a storytelling, but this is their 3rd or 4th match. This is their 3rd or 4th?
Fourth match.
Like, come on, dude. He's fucking good already. So stop acting like you need to figure out if he's good or not. Take the match seriously. End the shit. Darby had no chance of winning this match, but you want to sit here and play wrestling with him. And you end up losing the TNT championship because you want to play wrestling with him. So I totally got it. Like, they literally oversold his character this entire match. Oh, he has the best entrance in the game. They made it everything about the wrestling. So that's why he lost the TNT title. I love the result of it, and that's why I gave it the extra quarter, because I'm like, yo, first it should have been at least 3.5 at tops. But Arn Anderson's attitude I'm giving it 3 3/4 because of Arn's attitude. He
did add a bit to this matchup. Jimmy?
JJ said everything I wanted to say. I'm going 3 1/4 because I'm not giving any extra points for Arn. I'm not getting any extra points for nothing. You said it at the end. This is his 4th match with him. This is a good story for their first match. Maybe their second match. 4 times, we don't know this motherfucker's serious. 4 times? And I don't mind the push-up. The push-ups, he went for a moonsault randomly. I'm like, what are we doing? This makes that shit from the bottom rope. He moved him and didn't even move him enough. He's dead. Just move him. You can move him to the next stage if you have to. Give us a fuck. It bothered me a lot. And I gotta be honest, I just watched Becky beat Charlotte for the belt in 2018, and she fucking didn't want Charlotte to raise her hand. Why is Cody raising fucking Darby's hand? Beat it. This is his time. Let him have his moment. And I paid off with Taz and all that stuff. Whatever. That's not the point. The point is, Darby won. We don't need another Cody show. It's the Cody show. I love Cody. I love Cody.
Cody did some straight Hulk Hogan shit in this match.
Some
straight Hulk Hogan shit. He had to bend the knee, hand the title, raise his hand, made it all. Yeah, have some straight Hogan shit. I'm calling it out, some straight Hogan shit.
I love Jimmy messaged me, called him Cody Helmsley.
Yes, I'm over. I've had enough. I love Cody. He needs a break. Cody needs a break.
Yes, yeah, Cody's the man, yo. But this was too much gloating, yo.
Cash.
So how JJ gave an extra star because of something he liked, I'm gonna take away a star because of something I didn't like. All right, this is 3 1/4 for me. It was too Cody-ish. It was a typical Cody match. Like you said, he saw some match from way back when, and he said, I'm gonna book that exact kind of match, but I'm gonna add in some Darby stuff like an avalanche crossroads because Darby has in his contract that he has to try to kill himself 4 times per match. And I don't know how I felt about the results, right? I could have gone either way with the result because I don't want either one of these 2 guys as my champion.
Wow, I love that. Damn.
I'd rather Brody have kept the belts. I kind of want to see an absolutely better champion take the belts.
After you crapped on him in his debut.
Right? The GOAT.
Hold on.
Starks.
Hold on. I crapped on his first match against Cody. Since he developed a personality on Dark,
I didn't like it.
Personality then.
Thank you.
No. Since he started, actually, no. Since maybe he joined Taz. Actually,
Ricky Starks has been great for this entire time. Like, I don't know what you've been watching, but
Yes, he's been amazing.
and I don't know. It's not stuff I can see on camera. But anyway, I want something different with my TNT champion. But that ending blew minds completely. I don't like. First of all, not only did Cody steal the spotlight with the whole raising of the hand and presenting the title on a knee, but
he bent the fucking knee, yo. Like, come on.
But even before we got to that wasn't immediate. We had this whole like standing around and like look at Cody's face as he looks around in bewilderment before we got to the other excessively long unnecessary horseshit. Like, we didn't need any of that. This post-match commemoration was an American nightmare. So he could have done without that, regardless of how it plays into FTW. Because I don't want to see that tag match, Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin versus Starks and Cage.
No, it's coming. It's coming.
Coming.
Has a whole
Definitely coming on a Dynamite.
Will Hobbs, who can't get TV time to save his life. What the hell?
Hey, like Cash just alluded to, after the match, Cody grabbed the belt. He handed it over to Darby on his knee. On his knee. The crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Taz came out and cut the celebration short. I love bitter Taz. It reminds me of my childhood watching him on ECW. How bitter he is. It's awesome. He swears to God he needs a plastic bag because he is gonna vomit. He said enough with the hugging and tears. He said to man up, and he said, "So what? He won the title. Act like you've been here. Oh yeah, you haven't."
Yeah, that shit was.
Yo, I love Taz and Arn were my reactions to this match. Like, what the fuck? Like, really? Like, fucking schoolyard girls just here. I'm a bend the knee for the title. Oh, he kicked out of a fucking backflip. Oh shit. What do I have to do to beat this man? Like what? Like, what are we watching? Like, this shit, yo, if they haven't delivered the way they delivered in the ring, man, like, because they are very good in the ring, everything else was so aggravating.
Cage and Starks attacked not only Arn Anderson on the floor, but Cody and Darby. They took Darby to the outside or around the guardrail. They threw him into a full gear sign, as well as threw Cody into the guardrail. And then they were about to break Darby's arm in the door of the Mazda that he came out in, but Will Hobbs came out with the chair to make the save. So I will say one thing about this entire show before we get to anything else. I like how they put in certain guys that didn't have matches. That was like a nice, like, to remind the viewer and keep them on our mind. Be like, these guys are important. I like how they did it, especially with this segment. Even though, as Cash said, he describes it as an American nightmare.
And I just hope to God I never see that bullshit face of TNT car ever again. Like, the face of TNT. Like, really? That is some WWE shit if you've never seen shit like the face of the network. Like,
yeah,
really?
He's the champion. He's the champion of the network.
Come with the shits, man.
The champion of the network. Next up was probably one of Cash's worst segments of the night. It was Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall talking trash about Ali and Dustin with in my opinion, a very solid promo challenging Butcher and Blade to a bunkhouse match this Wednesday on Dynamite, saying this is war.
And let Dustin do the talking going forward, QT, because you literally on camera talking about the American Nightmare family gets the most TV time and doesn't think that is going to aggravate any fan. Is going to be like, just shut up. Let Dustin do the talking. For God's sakes, please.
Dustin is definitely should be the talker of this group in general.
Like your brother's out there getting fucked up, and you're back here just talking about a match that's coming up next week. Go help your fucking brother.
No, his brother doesn't need fucking help. His brother needs to take shit serious.
Yeah, I kind of did find it funny that Team Taz attacked Cody, who came out with his old entourage, but his whole entourage wasn't there when he got jacked.
The 37 people, like how Team Mayweather comes out.
Yeah,
because we need to stand in the back ready for my promo. We have to stand in the back ready for my promo, and I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't think Dustin Rhodes should be cutting the promos for the Natural Nightmares because I think neither one of them should be cutting promos or in the Natural Nightmares or in Elite Wrestling. They need to go away.
Dustin Rhodes can talk.
Exactly. I understand you not liking him in the ring, but he definitely cuts a damn good promo.
I've seen this man I'm 32 years old. I've seen this man for 35 years. Okay? He needs to go away, okay?
Yo, Cody, that's how I feel about something upcoming later, but go ahead.
Cody, and I'm going to probably agree with you. Cody, take a break. Take your brother. Take your fat, balding friend.
Jesus.
At this point, respectfully, in New York lingo.
Respectfully.
Okay? And all of you go away, at least for a while. I don't expect forever for some of them, but at least for a whole while. Just go, take the whole family and go film something for TNT. Just go.
I will say that they do feel very grating. And QT did not help. After Cody's entrance, QT did not help the feeling of, and fucking Brandy promos throughout the night about her fucking
God.
Why aren't they heels? They feel like heels to me. It's a great heel group.
Everything they do.
What are we doing?
It's nauseating.
I think the only time they seem like babyfaces is when Dustin or Cody is talking. That's the only time. And maybe Dustin because he's like 50 years old and when he gets beat up in the ring, it is sympathetic. But Cody does not work like a babyface at all. So it's just like, yeah, they probably it's time to pull the trigger on that heel turn. But next up, we had the AEW Women's Championship on the line. I will say the pre-match video package was probably as long as the devotion of time they took to this build on Dynamite television over the past 3 months. And it made it seem like this was a well-built feud, but it's definitely not been. But I will say this match started off pretty strong. It was pretty solid, and then there was a lot of sloppiness towards like the middle and end of it, and they ruined what would have been an excellent finish with Shida hitting the, I think it was the Falcon Arrow, top rope Falcon Arrow, but she picked Nyla up at 2 and had the wiry smile. This was like some of the most that Shida in her entire time in AEW, and then she looked for her finisher, but Vicky interrupted, pulling the leg. Then it was like a lot of sloppiness leading into the finish, but finally Shida got the win by hitting her knees a couple of times. I think it was like 5 in a row to Nyla Rose to get the victory and the 3 count to defend the AEW Women's Championship. I wanted to like this match a lot more than I eventually did. I was probably like 3 1/4, 3 1/2 when Shida pulled her up at 2, but that sloppy ass finish kind of brought it back down underneath a 3. I give it 2 3/4. Probably the weakest match of the show. Shida did her damn thing, but it was just a lot of sloppiness, and then that finish was ruined. I will go and start with you, Cash.
Thank you. I'm going to agree with you. We don't normally see eye to eye on star ratings. 2 3/4, just to get that out there, because I'm going to forget in a second.
I'm going to go on a tangent.
Just in case. It was very sloppy. The whole Vicky with the kendo stick thing, I think would have been better closer toward the end personally, because I think outside interferences should be closer toward the end than the super beginning, middle of a match. But
I did like the original interference of Vicky because it set up the story match with Nyla on the leg. It was the interference at the end that I didn't like because there was no reason to do it.
Which is that's what I'm saying. You could take that, you could have put it toward the end because it was way more effective anyway.
But then there's no knee story.
Yeah, there's no knee. The kendo stick to the knee, it was the whole story of the match.
Anyway.
This is where you're about to get the alternative facts.
Vicky missed grabbing Sheeta's foot, right? So that's sloppy. I don't know if Nyla got really knocked out. She got dumped in her head, but she seemed really out of it the last 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
I disagree. I like Sheeta picking her up after that Falcon Arrow because
I did too. It's just the sloppiness with Vicky interfering at the end that ruined it.
Yeah, so I like this, oh no, I'm gonna be a badass because we've been building this match for so long on Dark that this this needs to really come to an end. So I like that, but she won that match hitting a bunch of knees with this supposedly hurt and injured knee. So how are you putting all this force behind these knee blows to the Blue Blazer when your knee's been over the whole match?
Called her the Blue Blazer. Damn, Jesus. Jimmy.
Jesus. I feel like I'm the harsh grader on the set. 2.25. That was bad. That I'm gonna be happy. I think Nyla got hurt or knocked out or something because she seemed out of it. She was trying to grab her and she was, nope, I'm gonna keep kneeing you in the face. Vicky doesn't work, and I like Vicky. And I'm sure she's a fantastic person. If you're mad at Eddie Guerrero,
she is. She definitely is.
Yeah, you're probably a fucking splendid fucking person. But she definitely doesn't work with Nyla. She might work somewhere else. But I feel like this is taking Nyla several steps back. I'm never sure where Sheeta goes from here outside of. I'm not sure why Go Bigger was on the card. You found Will Hobbs, Taz, Lance Archer. You couldn't find Britt Baker's spot. It's Tony's birthday. You couldn't find Britt Baker's spot.
How is she not saying Happy Birthday, Tony, on the show?
Yes, that would have been awesome.
I'm not here for it at all. But yeah, it was fine until Nyla got concussed. Quite frankly, that had to happen.
Probably right. Ness.
Yeah, this was the low part of the card for me. Really didn't do much. There was a lot of sloppiness, like everybody's saying. It seemed like, I don't know if Nyla was out of it, if she was gassed, because after a while, just she couldn't keep up with Sheeta. Yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars. This was just the one match that kind of took me out of the show for a little bit.
See, it seems like the women just have that spot on the card a lot of times.
The AEW women, the NWA women, that got me pumped for the opener of the actual show. But this match just took me out of everything else on the card.
JJ?
So you know how we had that Arn Anderson reaction to the Cody match, and the world knows about that Tyra Banks reaction on the Top Model show. I was rooting for y'all. I was rooting for y'all to be good. And y'all should have taken all the failures and learned from it. And then they had a decent match. I was heading towards my 3 stars for this, maybe even 3.25. But as soon as Vicky grabbed Sheeta's leg, that shit lost 1.5 stars for me. I'm giving this shit 2 stars. Everything after that leg trip was a complete disaster. I did like when Sheeta picked her up. This shit would have ended so beautifully if Sheeta picks her up and then bangs her with that knee and knocks her out and then knocks her out of a fucking misery. And then Vicky doesn't have the tyrant. She doesn't have the screaming. She doesn't have the trip. She doesn't have any of that extra shit. We actually have a decent match, a decent finish. We all go home. We continue happy. Then we get 5 to 7 minutes of pure nonsense.
Garbage.
And that ruined it for me. And and then the after promo ruined. I'm Vicky Guerrero. Well, I'm Nyla Rose. And then you get slapped. And then she walks away. And then the promo ends. I'm being too nice to this. I'm giving this 1 3/4 stars. This was an abomination of a finish. This was horrible. Oh my God. I was rooting for this match. I was rooting for this shit to be good. And this was the complete opposite of rooting for. I was so fucking mad. I was so mad at this shit. This shit pissed me off. 1 3/4 stars for me. That's it.
Fair enough. We got to move on. Like you said, after the match, Vicky yelled at Nyla, said that she trains her, had plans, and slaps her. And Nyla just nods and takes the admonishing. So we will see how that develops, if it develops at all. Next up was, in my opinion, one of the best tag team matches of 2020. AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line. FTR defending the titles against the Young Bucks. This was 4 years in the making. Two of the top tag teams of the past decade going up against each other for the first time ever. Before the match, I think the little touches, like the colors of the Young Bucks with the Laker colors versus the FTR coming out with the Celtics colors, that created the whole dynamic of this match of two rival teams going at it. This is the first time ever. The little greatest tag team of all time on FTR's ring jackets was also a nice little touch as well. Of course, FTR went after the injured ankle of Matt Jackson, but that came back to haunt them as they got a little too overzealous with that, and Dax eventually punches the ring post and injures his hand. Then that becomes like a whole different dynamic of the match, with FTR trying to go after Matt's leg while the Young Bucks work over the hand and viciously work over the bleeding hand of Dax Hartwood, who had to tape up his hand in the middle of this matchup. Nick Jackson with his crazy hot tag, one of the best hot tags in the business.
The best.
But I have to highlight Cash Wheeler. Cash Wheeler was the MVP of this entire matchup to me. This guy was bumping like a wild man. He was taking ridiculous bumps, flipping over the top rope on like back body drops, spears through the ropes on like Nick Jackson. We had basically an ode to tag team wrestling and the two ideologies going up against each other, with Dax and Cash being, lovers of the 80s, doing moves like the Powerplex or Power and Glory, the Mind Breaker, which is a tribute to Tully and Arn. They even pulled out the Heart Foundation Heart Attack, while the Young Bucks are purveyors of the flips and the high risk of the 90s. So they did the Spear to tribute Edge and Christian. They did the 3D of the Dudleys. They did the Twist of Fate and the Swanton Bomb. This was a beautiful love letter to tag team wrestling, and I enjoyed every little bit of it. We had callbacks to certain matches that the two teams have been in, two of their classics, with FTR pulling out the meet in the middle of DIY, then even going back to take over Toronto while the two men were trapped in the sharpshooter trying to hold each other's hands. I think this is the part that Jimmy didn't like, with Rick Knox failing to break the dual sharpshooters because they got their hands in the ropes. But other than that, this was excellent. It was great selling by especially Matt and Dax. But in the end, Dax was laid out, Nick Jackson was laid out, and Matt was left in the ring with Cash Wheeler having him down. He should have went for the pin after a super kick to Matt Jackson, but he wanted to go to his tag team partner who wasn't there, so he decides to go against his ideology and go for a springboard 450 flips. No, all fits, no flips, finally came back to haunt them as they tried to pull out the high risk and pull out the desperation, and he misses, and then Matt hits a super kick with the bad leg for the pin. I give this match 4 3/4 stars. This was simply amazing. This was a great, almost 30-minute, some of the best tag I have seen all year. Just a nudge under the Revolution tag match with the Young Bucks and Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, but just as fantastic of a matchup. I will start with you, Jimmy.
I hate the Virtual Bubble. I'm going to.
What?
Wait. I want to say I need to adjust my sound for that.
I'm joking. I'm going 4 1/4. First of all, you mentioned the Lakers Celtics thing. I like that a lot, especially because it kind of matches who they are. Showtime versus kind of the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
FTR. I love the first half of this match. In fact, I love the first 3/4 of this match. I love the FTR portion, essentially, with Young Bucks kind of sprinkled in there. After the sharpshooter, which you guys are blaming, not you guys, you are blaming Rick Knox for. Rick Knox is he's a character in this story they're trying to tell, and he can't break the hold because this is part of a spot. His hands are in the ropes. The hold is over. The hold needs to be broken. And the fact that they have JR in commentary, who I love, but who does not know how to fucking go with the program, he mentioned it. This hold is broken. Anything that happens now is irrelevant. And it bothered me a lot. The tag team tribute, it's not my taste, but I get it. It worked, I'll say. I didn't like the finish. I love Cash missing the move and it costing him. I don't like a super kick without a shoe ending a match. That doesn't work for me. That's where that half star comes from.
Okay.
You ever been stopped with a boot? It hurts. You ever been stopped with somebody's sock? Not as much. That's all I'm saying.
That is fair. That is fair, but I just liked it because it was simple. It was one of the more simple moves of Young Bucks repertoire. So it was like FTR went to the flips while they went to the simple yet effective route of FTR to get the victory here.
Fair enough.
Cash, I know you're gonna rant, so I'll give you the floor.
I love that. Are you gonna rant?
Oh.
If he don't, I will.
Oh shit! There's 2 of them.
This match is 3 stars for starters. Okay? FTR gets 4 stars. Young Bucks gets 2 stars. That averages out to 3 stars. Okay?
That's not how that works. Okay.
That's not how that works at all.
That's definitely not.
Jesus, could you take your emotion out of your star rating?
No, this is
about
the
the match.
emotion. Preface this match.
As long as you put it out there, that is.
I love that FTR has got back some of their catchphrases. I don't know if that was part of the Cody Rhodes deal, where they got back no flips, just fists. They got back greatest tag team of all time. So I love that. I'm disgusted at Cash Wheeler, the MVP, with his 450. How dare you, sir? You just sacrilege. That's a sacrilege to your own religion. Okay?
That's why he lost.
That is why he lost, and he deserved to lose for that. However,
that's the point.
The Mount Rushmore of wrestling, the 4 most unstoppable men in wrestling: Hulk Hogan, John Cena, 2000's Triple H, and Matthew Jackson.
No, that's Jungle Boy, but keep going.
Matthew Jackson is fucking unstoppable, apparently, where he has a legitimate injury on top of this storyline that he's getting his leg worked over the whole match. And his bare foot is so devastating and debilitating that it's going to take out FTR, who, by the way, lost their titles. What is this? In their first pay-per-view title defense?
Yeah, but they had like 3 or 4 on TV.
Yes, but they've gone 1 pay-per-view. Transitional champion.
Well, they did have an 8-month reign before this of Kenny and Hangman, so I don't know if you were expecting another long reign after that, but I wasn't.
I was expecting more than 1 fucking pay-per-view for the guys that you brought in and made a big deal about, and had a segment that in every one of their matches, as per contract, people have to hold the tag rope, which apparently is superseded by the Young Bucks contract, that there is no tag ropes whatsoever in their matches.
That are EVPs.
Clearly, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted.
Clearly you are. Let's move to Top Guy JJ.
I need a break.
This was, to me, this was a 5-star match to me until the finish. So this match gets 4 stars for me until that finish. How does a injured foot win tag titles? And it's injured, by the way. It's injured. So first of all, how are you going to get force behind that? You're not supposed to get force behind something that is so injured you could barely walk on it, but you can muster up enough to literally, as I said, to decapitate somebody long enough to actually defeat them. the match was the second best match of tag team wrestling that I've seen all year. Everything up until that, like, come on, dude. Like, Matt Jackson's foot is not made of fucking steel. Like, yo, sell the injury at least with the damn boot on. He probably kicked him with the middle part, the callus of his foot, which is the softest part of your foot, and it knocked him out. It knocked them out. Like, it was like, come on. Like, they've done so well with the match and everything that they've done, and the way the storytelling with the Amasa tag team wrestling, it was so beautiful. It was like, oh my God, I'm watching like the greatest thing ever since fucking Young Bucks and Henny and the Kenny and Hangman. And then I'm like, all right, first of all, Cash's 450 was fucking phenomenally
That
done.
shit was
like,
clean.
That shit looked
Yeah.
beautiful. That shit is better than every single one of AJ Styles' 450 attempts in the past 2 years. So that shit looked beautiful. I'm just saying. Just no shots, but I'm just saying. But come on, that finish to me killed me for at least, that shit knocked off an entire star for me, because I was like, come on.
That's ridiculous.
That's
Oh shit!
A whole star.
knocked off an entire star from me.
That's
like,
ridiculous.
you're not gonna beat me with an injured body part, and that becomes the strongest body part on you. Like, that just doesn't make sense. There is no adrenaline. If you're injured, if you are injured, there is no adrenaline that makes that the strongest part of your body.
It was more.
Have you ever been injured?
Move.
I've had surgery. Listen, I've had surgery before. There is not a chance in hell I am ever going to use that part of my body as an offensive weapon to hurt someone. Get the fuck out of here with that. And then the post pictures afterwards with the celebration looking perfectly fine afterwards. Hell no. That shit lost an entire star for me. That shit gets 4 stars for me.
That wasn't even on the show. So now you're grading it on pictures on social media. You're ridiculous.
Yes, I am. With that fucking finish.
I never want to hear you complain about Dave Meltzer's rating system. Go ahead, Ness.
I don't know, probably 19 stars.
Oh man, excuse me.
At least I gave it more than Marcus.
Yeah. I got a lot to unpack in this. I'm going to try to keep it short. The overall story of the match, I loved. They kept bigging it up as, the Young Bucks banking on himself. I took it as a symbolism of what AEW is altogether. These guys got offered to go to WWE, be a part of another promotion, be a part of somebody else's idea, but they literally bet on themselves, and they have this company now doing great for themselves. And it was basically AEW versus WWE. FTR coming from WWE going up against the premier tag team AEW. So that's where I got out of, the story. Also, with Dax's hand and Matt's ankle both being focused on throughout the whole match, that made also for great storytelling and added to the match itself. But I gotta agree with everybody saying the finish. That's what really took it out for me. I love the match. I was going to give it 4 3/4. I had to knock it down a quarter. I give it 4.5. That fucking 450, as clean and as beautiful as it was, why the fuck, if you're no flips, just fists, why are you flipping now? This makes no sense. Like, I get it that, you're getting down to the end of the match and you're running out of options and shit to do, but the first thing that shouldn't come to your mind is, oh, I'm going to do something that I don't usually do, something that I usually talk shit about. I'm going to go do a 450 when I could have just did another move to put this guy out. And then on top of that, again, Matt Jackson's bare injured foot that we just used for the last match, or Sheeta versus Nyla, where she had to do a couple of knees with her injured knee. You use one super kick with your injured foot, and that ends the match. So that took it out of the match. It didn't take it out of the match, but I had to knock off a 1/4 of a star. And I even said it to you guys. Like, yo, the finish was goofy as shit, but I'll take it. But overall, the match itself was amazing. It was phenomenal. My opinion of probably the match of the night. We'll get into that later or whatever. But yeah, that finish is just slight. If it was done better, I would have gave it 4 3/4 or possibly maybe even 5 stars. But it was just that finish that really just left a sour taste in my mouth. But overall, the match was amazing.
If Matt Jackson had a cast on his foot, that's a fantastic finish.
Fact. Or if Nick Jackson blasts him with the same super kick and a crippled Matt falls on him and gets the victory, I love it.
Yeah.
But not the injured body part. The injured part.
The bear.
Dude, if you've ever suffered an injury and know how much that shit hurts, you are not using it in offense. You're not. You're just not. I'm sorry.
Superman. I'm totally unbiased in this because I'm all Young Buck stout. So for me to say that, yeah, that's definitely some real shit.
I can understand being upset about the bare foot, but taking off a whole star is kind of ridiculous. Oh, no. And I got
that's not I can't say anything about that.
Him doing the 450 because FTR have been very, very about they're the better tag team. So what better way to prove you're the better tag team by using their own shit against them? So that's why I got the finish, and I love the finish because
I wasn't
it paid off for their whole mantra and ideology that they built their whole tag team on.
No, the 450 didn't piss me off as much. It really didn't.
No, I addressed you. I was addressing Ness on that one. Ness with not understanding why he pulled out the 450. That was the whole reason.
But he's not using their own shit against them because Young Bucks don't do 450s as
yes,
finish.
They literally, Nick
Dude,
did a
they do 450s like every match.
What are you even talking about?
Yeah, they do them sometimes, but they don't do them as finishers.
Yes, they do. That's a part of the more bang for their buck. The more bang for their buck, it was their original finisher. So that's why he pulled it out.
In AEW?
In their tag team. This is not about just AEW. This is a 4-year build.
Literally,
you're just pulling shit out your ass.
Let's
move on. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. After the match, Kenny Omega came down to the ring and celebrate with the Young Bucks. And near the tunnel, you could see Hangman Page drinking his whiskey in his hand, looking sad yet proud of his former friends, but not willing to come out and celebrate with them. So that was a nice little touch to kind of further develop the. Huh?
What is Martin Scorsese? Enough of this super artsy shit. We got it. He's there, but not there. He's gonna hang out in the tunnel. You won't think the same thing from the back. What are you doing?
Hey!
He had to be seen, man. He had to be seen looking sour.
He had to be in the camera shot. Next up was something to kind of bring the crowd after taking so much emotion out of that crowd. That was another thing I will say about this show. The 1,000 people there made a huge difference. I think that's why I loved that last match so much. So to kind of bring them back down, we had a cinematic match as it was Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion from the Hardy compound in North Carolina. Before the match started, Matt makes a phone call outside of his house saying that he's going to need backup just in case. Sammy pulls up in a golf cart, bringing back to the original start of this feud, and it is Neo that meets him there, scanning him and telling him that he was dumb as fuck to show up here. A hologram of Matt welcomes Sammy to the Hardy compound and to his demise, and then he pulls up in a monster truck and runs down the golf cart. Sammy had gotten out. They start brawling. They brawl over the monster truck, then over to a ring. In the ring, this is when Proud and Powerful get involved. This was a nice placement of them so they can be on the card here. That's when Matt goes underneath the ring and grabs a walkie-talkie to call Private Party to help him out. Then Matt and Sammy have a firework off with the with the fireworks going back and forth. Sammy with a hilarious sell of the fireworks in general, just bumping all over the place for the fireworks being thrown at him. They fight over to the Lake of Reincarnation, where we get one of our first cameos, as is not only Hurricane Helms tied up, but he is tied up by none other than Gang fucking Grell Gangrel, and of course JR adds literally nothing but shit all over this match. Like, he's also known as Heath Miller or something like that, or something. No, David Heath. I was like, oh, JR, just shut up. Just please shut up. Uh, that was the one thing I will say took away from the match a little bit, was the commentary. The music in the background probably would have done it well, but they fight over. Sammy throws Hurricane into the Lake of Reincarnation, which brings out Gregory Helms, the reporter. He throws him into the Lake Incarnation. We get more fighting between the two groups, with Gangrel siding with the Inner Circle, while Hurricane is with Private Party and Matt Hardy. They fight over to the Dome of Deletion, where things get a little bit more violent. We get Sammy with a swanton off of a ladder through a table. Then Matt does a spear off of the apron onto Sammy through a table, and Sammy hits his head on the concrete, dating back to the incident at All Out. So Matt then throws a chair into Sammy's head, dating back to when he busted open Matt previously. And then finally he does a concerto, throwing back to when Randy Orton took Matt Hardy out of the WWE with a concerto. So there was some nice symbolism, some nice callbacks for a cinematic match. I enjoyed it. I am grading it on a cinematic scale, and I will give it 3 stars. I probably would have gave it a little bit more if it wasn't that long. It didn't need to be that long, and probably would have made the show a lot better to consume if it was a little bit shorter. But I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a nice change of pace, mixing violence of the feud with humor and with the cameos. We will start with Ness.
Yeah, I gave this match 3 1/4. It was really entertaining. To see all the goofiness, and then it turned into, the seriousness, as all the fucked up shit that Sammy Guevara has done to Matt Hardy over the past few months. And I love that they actually revisit those moments. I also like, just everybody, it was really entertaining. Just a lot of goofy shit going on. But I hope that they're done now. I'm glad that this was a cinematic match, so they tried to probably was as safe for them to do this way instead of having them have an actual match or an actual street fight where Matt Hardy could, potentially almost die but not die like he has been for the past couple months feuding with Sammy. Yeah, I just hope that they're finally done. He's deleted, move on, do something else now. They put his ass in a fucking trash can, and that's just keep him there. Just keep that whole feud there after now that it's done. It's over. Just keep moving. But yeah, 3 1/4 stars. It was fun, and I hope they both just move on to something bigger and better for themselves.
Top guy JJ.
Yo, this match was on its way to a dud for me. It was on its way, but until they got into that, what did they call that? The Dome of what?
Dome of Deletion. Yeah.
It actually got so much better. Because all that other shit with that clusterfuck of nonsense with Gangrel and everybody just fucking congregated to North Carolina. Everybody just somehow just made it over there all of a sudden. But beyond it, once it became just them and the focus was on them, god damn, it got so much better. I'm going to raise it. I'm going to give this at least 2 stars because of their finish. This was one of the best finishes to me of their whole rivalry. Everything in that Dome of Deletion to me was done very well. The spots in there was really good. The violence in there, it got so gruesome in there. And y'all know, if anybody, I'm over Matt Hardy. I am over it. I am so over Matt Hardy. But if this is a swan song for a cinematic match, and it's, you know what, I'll give it 2 stars just on execution. But I hope I never see this shit again. I hope I never see this shit again.
Jimmy?
We're on the same page. I don't have a cinematic scale, so I'm going on the regular old scale, and on the regular old scale, it's a star. It's what it is. I actually watched this match this morning, 4 in the morning. I'm done with Matt Hardy. That's where I can start. It's actually kind of sad to see him against a younger version of himself. It's kind of rough because Sammy is just so much better than he is, and Matt should have retired I don't know, 10 years ago. Just move on. Just get rid of the whole. Listen, I can't even do him with Private Party. I feel he brings them down. They don't seem as cool to me stand next to Matt Hardy. It's just, I'm sorry. You know what? He's not bad doing video packages. I like him doing video packages. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And he's got a good brain on him. Do that. Get rid of Matt Hardy. Free Sammy. Let Sammy do some better things with his life.
Free Sammy Guevara. I'm with you.
Please.
Cash.
I surprised myself with this match. My feelings have been very public knowledge about Matthew Hardy. What's on the Meltzer scale? What's the most stars a match has ever gotten? I just want to know where I should properly rate this.
Most stars of what match ever gotten?
Of any star. He wasn't a 7.
Any 7, yeah.
7 stars? Okay. This is negative 7 stars. Okay. This match has brought everybody down. Private Party are a joke. Matthew Hardy is a joke. Sammy Guevara is a joke. They brought out 2 versions of Helms and a Gangrel for fuck's sakes. Okay. Who else showed up? Like everybody lost. Pride and Powerful. Jesus, I want to like these guys, but they make it so hard. Right? Everybody lost here. We're all sports fans here, right? To me, this whole Matthew Hardy experiment is equivalent to using the first round pick, probably the number 1 draft pick, on a complete bust. But because he was the number 1 pick and we're paying him all this money, we have to keep forcing him out there. Okay? No, stop it. Bench him, cut him, trade him, do something with him, but get him off of my television, get him off of your pay-per-view, get him away with these people that still kind of have a future before he fucks all of it.
Cut your losses.
Cut your losses.
Cut your fucking losses.
He has a saying that Matt Hardy will not die, but his career needs...
It's dead. His career's dead. It's just dead.
Cinematic matches.
It's not interesting, yo. It's just not interesting at all.
Cinematic matches in general, but especially Matthew Hardy cinematic matches, make me feel more Cornettier than anything else in professional wrestling.
Cornettier. That was a nice term.
Where he threw him in the mud. The mud show.
Yeah, he was like, old people's gonna hate this. There was a couple of nice lines in this, like when he met up with Helms and he was like, yeah, I needed 2 years and then get away from that other company to finish this. So
like, it feels like half of us is like definitively against it and half of us is like still tolerating it. So to the half that's like tolerating it, how the fuck do y'all tolerate it?
I don't tolerate it. I enjoyed it.
It
was a change of pace.
For what it was, like, I'm not expecting Matt Hardy to go out there, and I know where he's at in his career right now, you know, and for like, I'm not expecting anything major out of him. So that's kind of why, like, tolerating is a good word to use, because that's what I'm doing with him in this setting where he's at in his part of his career. Now, this whole feud between him and Sammy's been fucked up since it started. I'm glad that hopefully it's fucking finally done now, and they can both just move on to do whatever. And maybe Matt will just play a managerial role for Private Party and then just be like outside of the ring more. But like, as far as him in the ring, I don't expect anything crazy. So that's why, like, this was, I don't know. I don't expect anything crazy from him in a match, like a real wrestling match, but something like a cinematic match and something that's supposed to be goofy and not really taken serious, then yeah, I'll rate it as far as how goofy it was.
Yeah.
And how, off the
entertainment. I'm not taking it as seriously as you guys are.
No, I'm just tired of seeing it. It's wasting time. This could have gave other matches more time on the card.
I don't think it wasted time. I think we needed this buffer for people that didn't enjoy it, people who wanted to change of pace. You needed this buffer after the match that we got before that. That's just me.
Jimmy,
that's just my opinion.
Jimmy, SP is the advocate of bathroom breaks. So we got
I'm not an advocate of bathroom break. I'm not an advocate of bathroom break. If it's a bathroom break for you, that's nice. For me, it was a change of pace. It was some humor. I popped for the cameo, so I enjoyed it. You didn't enjoy it. Neither one of us are wrong. It's an opinion. Everyone has one. Get it? All right.
Okay. JJ, you mentioned, I think it was you mentioned Hangman and Omega probably could have used an extra 5-10 minutes, right?
Facts.
I wonder where we could have found that.
I wonder where.
I don't think Hangman. I don't think Hangman, unless this was going to be the only match
I'm not
for
going to shit
Hangman
on it
and
that much.
Omega.
No, I'm not going to shit on it that much. I would have just taken that whole extra chunk out of that women's match at the end and gave that whole shit to Hangman and Omega.
Unless we're never getting Hangman and Omega, or we're not getting it for a long time, I think it was perfect at 17 minutes. It was 17 minutes long.
It was just because the match was that good.
Openers do not need to go 20 minutes.
The match was that good, brother.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but it doesn't need to go 20 minutes, especially if we're going to see it again. That's just my opinion. But after the match, Private Party got called in by Matt Hardy to take out the trash. We had a cameo from Senior Benjamin and Rebby Hardy and a celebration at the Hardy compound. After this match, we had a video package with Lance Archer smashing a man against the wall while Jake the Snake Roberts singing about nothing to do. And Lance Archer says that he is coming for Eddie Kingston and his family, and coming for the Elite, and coming for everybody, because everybody dies.
Right. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for how they're butchering Lance Archer and they butchering Mr. Brody and they almost butchered Brian Cage. Can you get one of these fucking things right, please?
So I heard that whole Lance Archer promo with the mute button.
Jesus.
The catchphrase is awkward. Like, everybody dies. Like, we're promoting death.
But everybody dies, but he's the one that always dies.
Yeah, he keeps losing. So, like,
he's lost twice. How does he keep losing?
I'm in his biggest spot.
Like his
biggest spots, he fails.
All their big men. They get all their big men wrong.
I don't think they got Brody Lee wrong.
They nail him in the beginning. It feels like they nail them in the beginning, and then they just all tamper off. Like, they nailed Archer in the beginning, they nailed Brian Cage in the beginning, and now Brian Cage is just a part of a team. Like, they just nail them, and then they just fade. Like, Will Hobbs is still struggling to get on camera.
Bro, how is Will Hobbs, you run an angle, join my team or we're going to kick your ass, and then he's missing for 3 weeks?
Well, and they continued it on Dark.
But he barely shows up on Dark. He just shows up to, like, save somebody, and then he disappears. Like, he doesn't get real camera time. Oh, Will Hobbs. Like, fuck, you actually have something there. We popped for him at that Royal Rumble thing.
I don't think they botched Brody. Brody was injured, so they had to write him off with that dog collar match.
When they write him off?
With the dog collar match.
But Cody was going to win that anyway, though.
Not necessarily. From what Brody said on Unrestricted, it was all because he was injured that they even booked that match and wrote him off.
What injuries he got?
He just got a bunch of injuries from his time at WWE, from what he was saying. Like, he said one thing, then he said another, and he was like, yeah, this is all from my time in the other company.
How did he take care of that? He was off television for like 9.5 years.
That it's just good. Yo, big men's injuries last a lot longer than the average guy.
Yes. All right. So after the Archer promo, we had a video package for MJF versus Chris Jericho. That is our next match. The lights went off when we came back to the arena, and the light up jacket returned, but it was not Chris Jericho. It was MJF with his own variation of the light up jacket, which honestly was better than Chris Jericho's light up jacket of the past, in my opinion. Jericho, of course, came out with the fans singing Judas, and that set the tone for this matchup. It was heel versus heel, but Chris Jericho was definitely the babyface in this one. This was a well-worked matchup. It's a very solid affair. Not great, but definitely solid for everything that they did. The match ended with Chris Jericho missing the Judas effect. MJF was handed the ring. He missed the punch of the ring. Jericho missed the Judas effect, but he got a bat from Jake Hager, and before he can use the bat, MJF dropped down and pulled an Eddie Guerrero. I think about 15 years and a couple of weeks to honor his death, the anniversary of his death. And as Jericho was confronted by the referee thinking that he hit MJF with the bat, MJF pulled the roll up up to get the victory and the 1-2-3. So MJF is now in the Inner Circle. Like I said, this was very solid. I gave it 3 stars. Decent for what it was. It was just a appetizer before the main event, but it was in a pretty good spot on the card, in my opinion. We'll go to you, Cash.
This match was a very good change of pace. This was not the match of the night, but this was the most pleasing of the nights. I love that MJF and Wardlow are in the Inner Circle, so let's just get that out the way. I love that. MJF is one of the best actors inside of a wrestling ring. Not so much outside, apparently. But they worked really well together. MJF makes Jericho look really slow. Like, Jericho looks extra slow motion in that ring, especially with the way MJF flies around it. But very good. I'm just excited. Like, the match was awesome. Go see it if you didn't for whatever reason. But I'm mostly excited just to see what MJF picks up more from being now next to Jericho for however long that's going to be before the turn happens.
What did you rate it?
Right.
You just said awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, what's awesome?
Stop it. I'm not gonna hold you to awesome. What'd you give it?
He gave the tag match 3 stars. And did you just say 4 1/4 for this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
And you know why I did. So, yes.
Jimmy?
Yeah, back into a corner. You're not gonna back down.
No, because the other one had Matthew Jackson.
This one doesn't have anybody. Why are you giving 4 stars? You just said Jericho's moving in slow motion.
Exactly.
It worked well. They made it work.
2 3/4.
What?
2 3/4.
That's a little closer to what it actually was. But yeah.
Fuck Christ. Chris Jericho is, but not that tall. Chris Jericho. I don't want him to go away forever, but he does need a break. It's time for him to pull out another fantastic gimmick out of his ass. He's done it 12 times. Do it again. The match was fine. I'm okay. I actually really like the video package. It made the feud seem better than it was. I love the finish. That's where most of the stars come from, quite frankly. I assume MJF is going to turn on Jericho. And that's probably the right call. Jericho's 2 baby faces for me at the moment. So, yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Makes sense. Ness?
Yeah, I gave this match 3 stars. Solid match overall. I like the finish where, we got the roll up and holding on to the tights. MJF's going to MJF. But I'm just really not worried, but more focused on where they go from here as him being a part of the Inner Circle. I'm actually more interested in seeing, or potentially that, Wardlow and Jake Hager might become a team now that they're a part of the Inner Circle. These 2 big behemoths as they are, I would like to see those guys come together. They have a little tension against each other right now. It's showed as the post-match everything going on. But, overall the match was solid, and I just want to see where everything goes from there.
JJ?
This match, I give it 3 1/4 based on it literally gave exactly what you thought it was going to give you finally. Like, you finally got everything that you thought you was going to get. Like, you got the finish that you was getting. Yo, fucking Jericho, the fact that this man is almost 50 years old and he pulled off a fucking Hurricane Rana off the top. Oh, yeah, I was fucking impressed by that shit, man. But I agree, Jericho does need some time off. Jericho does need a little time off, and the segue to MJF taking over the Inner Circle, to me, is something that will give Jericho that needed break. Jericho has been working his ass off for too long. He needs a break. He needs a break because he looks tired. He looks tired. And it's not, and anybody that knows me knows that Chris Jericho is literally my number 2 favorite wrestler of all time. So me saying this about one of my absolute favorites, he needs a break so he can come back rejuvenated, because he is too great to look tired. So I give it 3 1/4 based on just, it gave me everything that I thought the match was going to give me. MJF to me is no superstar in the ring. Chris Jericho is slowing down a bit, but they gave a good match to what both their abilities are.
That was a fair assessment, and I don't know why Cash was yeah. He didn't agree with you. He said a whole star less than what you said. You rated this match the same as the opener, so Jesus.
I like this match a lot more than y'all, apparently.
A lot.
It was a good match. It was a good match, and it gave one of the best finishes. But damn, everything in between was very average.
Yes.
I just enjoy their work and how they present things.
Fair. After the match backstage, they interview Orange Cassidy on his thoughts on his victory earlier in the night. He says he has none. Miro and Kip came in and wanted an apology. Orange apologized apathetically, and Kip slapped Orange before best friends could get revenge. Orange holds them up and says cool and walks away.
Cool. I actually really like that, by the way.
I did too.
So dope. That was so dope.
I did too. It shows that Orange is the leader, so I like it.
Not even that. It just shows that he doesn't give a fuck about Kip Sabian.
Nah, he's like, nah, this is small talk.
He's like,
nah, this is small talk. This is small talk. I'm gonna get them. We gonna get them.
Exactly.
Just not off this bullshit.
And then finally, we have the main event I Quit match for the AEW World Championship. I must say, the video packages and all the video packages on the countdown, on the buy-in for this match were superb. It just built up this story of two friends turn foe and what this AEW world title means to Eddie Kingston. He wants to give it to his mother and say that's why you don't have grandkids, that's why you don't have a daughter-in-law, while Jon Moxley wants to beat his friend out of his misery. This one was hard-hitting. This one was dangerous and brutal. We saw thumbtacks. We saw steel chairs. We saw guys trying to break each other's fingers. We saw suplex onto two chairs opened up. We saw a barbed wire bat. One of the worst spots was Moxley going head first into the thumbtacks after he went back first into the thumbtacks. And then Eddie Kingston pulling out rubbing alcohol and pouring it all over the back of John.
Bro!
In a vicious looking spot. In the end, I predicted it. Top Guy JJ was there on True Hill Heat 99. I said, in fact, that Moxley would pull out barbed wire, put on the bulldog choke, and make Eddie scream, I quit. He didn't scream. Eddie bleed from the mouth and finally, quietly said, I quit, as he cried. Emotional. This was blood-filled. This was nasty. This was ugly. This was balls to the walls, action, and hardcore, high risk. I gave this match 4 stars. I think that it's a memorable matchup. It is the type of Jon Moxley match that I think he needed before he goes into his next feud against Kenny Omega, because it was a nice look at what him and Omega went through last year at Full Gear. So that's why I like the post match with Kenny Omega coming down, letting him know he's coming after the title, but he doesn't even want to get in the ring with Moxley while all this hardcore nonsense, this gibberish that he said he would not do with Moxley ever again. He doesn't even want to get in the ring with him when all that's going on. He just let him know he's going to fight him in a standard wrestling match because he knows he can beat Moxley in that after not beating him in Moxley's style of match. We will go to Top Guy JJ. What was your thoughts?
Literally everything that you thought you was going to get out of this match. I mean, you knew you wasn't going to get the greatest match in the world. You know you wasn't going to get 2 stellar 5-star athletes. I give this match 4.25 stars based on story, on everything that did. This match was fucking brutal. It was brutal. And you don't get to see matches like this in the year 2020 anymore. You don't get to see matches like this take place anymore. And, Eddie Kingston's outfit almost lost 1/4 star for me. Like, what the fuck? You see these bummed out, bum-ass, broken down worn Adidas in this fresh Green Ranger Power Ranger outfit. It was like, are you the heel or the face in this match? Like, are you trying to become the hero to take the title from the bad guy, or you are literally this goon killer that we've been seeing over the past month? But the match delivered everything in the story. Like, sometimes the story is better than the match. And to me, that's what this match did. The story of the match was better than the match itself. These two delivered on a front end, them talking them talking that shit to each other, them warning each other, the shit they're going to do to each other. And yeah, you predicted it correctly, man, when you called that. I just thought that they would have used a little bit more arsenal and weapons. But they stuck to the same barbed wires. They stuck to the same stuff. But I was like, it worked. And the finish, like, damn, like, this dude cried before quitting. Like, you sort of, you literally, like, come on. Like, it was like, he can't take this pain no more. And he quit. Like, he couldn't take that type. That was too much. It was too much. It would have, damn, he said, you need to kill me. Nah, you don't know what death feels like, brother. Yeah, you don't know what death feels like, so you had to take them words back real quick after you felt that kind of pain. So I take that. I give them what they had, man. They delivered for everything that they could possibly deliver, man.
Ness?
Yeah, I also gave this match 4.25. Just the story leading up to this. These guys have a long history with each other. The promos showing how Eddie's just trying to tell his mom, like, Mom, this is the reason why I'm living my life the way I am, like, now for pro wrestling. Sorry, I can't give you grandchildren or a daughter-in-law. And then, with Moxley saying that I had to make your mom a promise that I was going to, like,
Ruthie.
Make Ruthie a promise that I'm going to, I have to look after you, so you don't do some dumb shit and ruin your life on your own merit. And, like, it just, that part of the story of this whole feud just made me want Eddie Kingston to win this match. Like, I'm not saying that he was going to win, but I just wanted him to win this match. Like, as bad as he was supposed to be, like, he was being portrayed as the bad guy. He was the heel in this feud. But, like, you sympathize with everything he was going through. Like, you wanted to see him win. You wanted to see him get this win to make his mother proud. Like, what kind of heel shit is that? Like, oh, I want to make my mom happy. Oh, well, fuck you. No, I don't care if you make your mother happy. You're a bad guy. Like, no, like, but the physicality was on another level, man. Like, the barbed wire, it was blood and guts. The rubbing alcohol spot, that shit was hilarious. But I have to do this. I give props to, I don't remember his name, this referee in this match.
Bryce Rensburg.
That's how you referee a fucking I Quit match. Not after every time these guys do a fucking move, Ryan Tran, that you're going to ask them if they're going to quit. Like, that's the difference. There's levels in refereeing.
This was a different I Quit match because the guys were asking they were asking each other to say I quit before they did shit. They were like, I'm gonna hurt you if you don't say.
And they were really hurting each other though, like doing some wild shit, thumbtacks, barbed wire. I'm not doing a fucking DDT on the outside. Ask him if he's gonna quit, ref. Like, just too much policing in other companies with their I Quit matches. Being compared to this, it was I wouldn't say a breath of fresh air, but it was just a lot better to see that the ref actually let these guys go. And then came in when he felt that he really, really needed to ask if they wanted to quit. So overall, I give the match a 4.25. I would have loved to see Eddie Kingston get that win. I understand that, he didn't. Moxley, he has to keep looking strong going into his next feud with Kenny Omega. But, this was definitely a great way to end the pay-per-view.
I love the other company's line, like, we're going to get in trouble and shit.
Hey, I didn't want to seem like a hater, but I had to throw that shit out there.
But it's okay. Cash.
I think this match over delivered. Like JJ said, we weren't expecting, a technical masterclass or anything like that with these two guys. But I wasn't expecting this much either. This conjured up all my love of like ECW, but had really good storytelling with it also. I gave it, I want to say 4.25. I want to say 4.5. I really like this match. All the hardcore spots, all the back and forth with them, right? You can tell that they weren't just making up this story. Like, this was real shit here. Like, I feel like Moxie really knows his mom. You know what I mean?
He does.
and I knew nothing of Eddie Kingston before AEW ever, so I didn't even know he had a mom. You know what I mean? So like I'm fully invested in all of this, and it was just really well done. Again, personal preference. I would have liked Kingston to win the title, right? But I understand that you can't have Kingston's reckless mouth with Kenny Omega as an upcoming challenger. So I understand that as well. Right, you're still on cable TV after all.
No, you like them dicks, Kenny.
Right. So, I'm not a 14-year-old schoolgirl, Kenny. So I was just really pleased with this match. Like I can watch this match stand alone for I don't know how long from now. Like I really enjoyed this.
Jimmy?
See, that's where I'm at, but that's not how my star rating works. I'm going 3.5. I feel like I'm on an island here.
You are.
Can I give? I'll deal with it. Can I give Tony Schiavone some props? I think he's the unsung MVP of this match, mainly because he's an old man who's not used to all this, and he felt like he was kind of jarred by all of it. Like, oh my God, are we really gonna do this? Like, yeah.
I think the commentary would have been much stronger if it was just Tony and Excalibur, because Excalibur had that personal element with him talking about how these guys rode down the road. They took a trip to Philly together. Like that was like nice little touches.
I knew this match wasn't going to live up to the promos that they both delivered. I'm not sure how that would have been possible. These are some of the best promos I've ever heard. I really love the finish. Moxley, to me, might be the perfect like 2020 babyface, where he's like this grizzled, angry old man. But, he's got a heart of gold. He doesn't want to kill his best friend or his former friend. And he gave him lots of opportunities to fucking give up, and he wouldn't. I'm warning you, this shit is about to get rough. So if you don't want it, I suggest you say I quit now. All right, fuck it. And then Eddie Kingston. I hope they don't butcher him. To be fair, losing to Moxley feels like it could be a death sentence. Archer still is not recovered. So I'm hoping. He's got some stuff. We still have family, so I hope.
Yeah. Still got the family, and you can tell he's gonna be a phenomenal babyface down the line. Eddie Kingston, like Ness said, how can you root against a guy who's just doing it for his mom? Right. So that is all the matches from AEW Full Gear. So let's go around the horn, guys. Match of the night. We'll start with Cash.
Omega and Page. Relative ease. That was.
You did rate MJF and Chris Jericho the same rating though, just so you, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
Is that co-match of the night for you?
I enjoyed their delivery, but in terms of like really great in-ring work and stuff.
In terms of matches being matches, I'm going with that.
It's not like delivery, like just like all the stuff that they concised into 17 minutes. So they only had 17 minutes. All the stuff they concised into that was really, really good stuff. So Hangman Page and Omega.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Page and Omega. You know what? Actually, no. The tag match. As much as that finish bothers me a lot, the first 24 minutes, 25 minutes, I really, really, really liked.
Ness?
Yeah, I'm going to say the tag match, regardless of the finish. But just overall, the match is, and the story that it told in and out of the ring, it was just a thing of beauty.
JJ?
Although I rated the opener a quarter of a star higher, I will say the tag match was the match of the night. That finish just fucked me up. But the tag match was definitely a thing of fucking beauty. That tag match was special. It was definitely special.
I gotta agree with these guys. The Young Bucks versus FTR was the match of the night. The second best tag team match I've seen all year long. Let's go with MVP. We'll start with JJ.
Wow, MVP of the night. Jesus Christ. I would have to say MJF.
Wow.
MJF for getting himself into the inner circle, as he's called, by beating his idol Chris Jericho. I'm going that route. I'm a big mark of MJF in the fact that he got the job done. He got the job done by hook or by fucking crook. He got the job done, and he is about to take over the inner circle in months' time.
Ness?
Even though he lost, my MVP is going to go to John Silver. I think that, even with a loss, so many people are recognizing him as an individual in the large group of the Dark Order. So, you make yourself stand out. That's always a win. So I got to go with John Silver.
Cash?
You know what? Yeah, I think Silver, because Silver has surprised me the most, and I think Silver gained the most. Like, yeah, MJF's gonna join Inner Circle, but like John Silver was run of the mill extra Dark Order guy. I think he's got some real solid future potential now.
He's more than just a number now.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Moxley. He did exactly what I expected him to do, and he's the best babyface on the planet. So
I'm going to slightly agree with Jimmy, and I'm going to go co-MVP of Jon Moxley, by far the best babyface in all of professional wrestling. Not just all elite wrestling, but all of professional wrestling. Jon Moxley is the best babyface, but the best new character in the business is the new Kenny Omega, the cleaner Kenny Omega becoming number one contender. And this matchup that's been a year since the first time they went one-on-one, that's going to be the main program going further. Hopefully it's not going to be on AEW TV. I just want 4 months of build-up until Revolution. 1 year after Moxley won the title, we get Moxley versus Omega there. I think that's the perfect stage for them, so I give them the co-MVP. LVP, we will start with you, Jimmy. LVP of AEW Full Gear.
I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I don't hate to do it. It's Matt Hardy. It is what it is. I could have went with Vicky, but I'm going with Matt Hardy. Only because I feel like this is his brainchild, the Elite Deletion match. If we were to guess who booked this match, it's Matt Hardy, right? Like who fucking?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Matt Hardy. It is what it is. So.
Cash.
Besides the person who didn't put Britt Baker on the show, the name Matthew, period. The name Matthew, and anyone with the name Matthew.
So co-LVP for
co-LVPs for Matthews.
Jackson and Hardy. JJ?
Jesus.
Shit, nobody's gonna give it. I'm gonna fucking give it to a Vicky fucking Guerrero. She completely decimated the women's division in Full Gear in this pay-per-view. That interference literally completely killed the entire feeling of that match. And no, I'm not letting you get away with that, boo-boo. I'm sorry. I love you as a person. I met you. You're really phenomenal. But your interference and your involvement completely killed that match. You are definitely the MVP because the AEW women's division needs hope. And you took it. You took it from them.
Ness?
I got co-LVPs. And ironically, they both lost matches. So Cody Rhodes and Cash Wheeler, they both get my LVPs for deviating from the game plan, going out there doing some other dumb shit that they shouldn't have been doing, and they lost. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Cody the Cash Wheeler.
Oh yeah. Well, at least Cash's backup, he was just out of it. He wasn't even there to help. Fucking Cody's getting schooled from a fucking legend, and you want to do push-ups and just be pussyfooting around. So, yeah, he definitely gets the LVP.
LVP, I'm going to go with Nyla Rose. I didn't see a point in the match where she got a concussion, so I'm just going to say she got gassed out in the middle of an 11-minute match, so I have to give her the LVP. I am a fan of hers. I enjoy what she gives to the AEW women's division, but this was not a superb night for her. So,
Nyla Rose had a match?
Exactly. So that's a well-deserved LVP. So put your thumbs in the middle, thumbs up or thumbs down for AEW Full Gear. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up all around for AEW Full Gear. So out of 10, what do you give this show? I will start things off, and I'll probably be the high mark here. 9 out of 10. One of the best pay-per-views of 2020, in my opinion. I think I gave a 9 out of 10 as well for Revolution. That was awesome, and this was right up there with Revolution for the best pay-per-view in all of professional wrestling in 2020. JJ?
I am going to go 8.5 on this one. I'm going to go 8.5. And the reason why is because this is one of the only pay-per-views of the entire year that every single match on the card was worth talking about. Like that's usually never the case with pay-per-views. We usually skip half the fucking card with pay-per-views. This match had like what 8-9 matches on it,
Yep.
and we had room for every single one. So that is a standout pay-per-view. You don't get pay-per-views like that often, and it was a damn good show.
Cash.
7 3/4. I enjoyed certain things a lot, but they had some real valleys, man, that I can't give you honorable scores for these valleys.
Fair. Jimmy.
I think I'm with them. 7.5. Elite Deletion and Nyla getting gas. You know what? That's a much better explanation of the concussion that I didn't see. Yeah, I can't do it. I love the Hangman Page match, Omega, and I love the tag match. And the main event. But everything else is either average or terrible.
Fair. Ness.
I give it an 8.5. I love the show overall. Again, the Nyla Rose and Shida match, I could have did without that, and then also the just the ending of the FTR and Young Bucks match. But regardless of that, the overall show, everybody delivered. It was a fantastic show to even watch. So I'll give it an 8.5.
So that is all for the AEW Full Gear 2020 pay-per-view roundtable review. Thank you, fellas, for doing this. This was a fun review to do. A lot of laughs, a lot of good times, and a lot of great professional wrestling that we saw on this night. Jimmy, Cash, tell the people where they can find you and All Elite Recap and your own YouTube channels.
I never do this.
I know you're in the reversal of roles here.
I know, it's my name exactly, Jimmy Macram. Look for it.
He does a lot of shows on there. I hijack a few of them. I've got my own channels. Go check out the videos that are up there and leave some comments about some stuff you would like for me to watch. I have very altered opinions about everything from most people that you're familiar with.
I think if they've made it this far through this video, they get it. Ness.
That's the follow.
Ness.
Oh, guys, catch me on. Oh yeah, we got a new show, Review of Honor. Sorry, you catch me on there with the Stat King. You catch me on any show on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I am the sixth man. I come off the bench when the coach SP3 puts me in. You can catch me on Instagram at skinny_Kravitz. You can catch me on Twitter at skinny_Kravitz and Ness Rothstein on Facebook.
And JJ.
Instagram is TrueHill_Top Guy JJ. Facebook, I'm simply Justin Johnson. And yeah, that's about. It was a good time with you guys, man. About time I got on a video with Jimmy, man. It's been years of cross interactions and no interaction.
I don't watch wrestling. Go big.
AEW has brought him back. That's why we love Jimmy and Cash on the All Elite Recap. Definitely check those brothers out and their YouTube channels. For the 3-time baby making champion Ness, you could check him out on Review of Honor, and the resident True Hill alcoholic Top Guy JJ every single Saturday on True Hill Heat. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been the AEW Full Gear 2020 pay-per-view roundtable review. Signing off until next time.